incredible price action for CLNV today. Let's go ahead and find out what the possibilities are for the coming week. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a CLNV technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Friday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community and Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so we're looking at CLNV on the 4-hour chart, referencing our chop box, and this is the area that we were talking about that we would potentially be trading for some time, right? So, very important thing to touch on right here. We have now broken out of this ascending triangle, okay, just like we were talking about, okay? So we did get that upside that we were looking for, right? And very interesting short positions that opened up right at the last minute of the day. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little suspicious, but it's also, in a sense, expected. And why is that? Well, first of all, we did mark our chop box. We did know that we did have a resistance right up here at about 8 cents, 8.10, right? And also the fact that we actually pulled back pretty much right at that one spot, 618, 792. Okay, so that was our resistance range entirely. Let me just go ahead and show you this. Okay, take a trend line here. I'm sorry, take a box here and do this. And this was our resistance range. We actually came right up, tested that resistance range, and came back down. Okay, so now if there is gonna be a continued pullback, I'm not going to lie to you, it actually may happen in the immediate short term before an immediate recovery to the upside. Okay, so everything has flashed signals towards that upside. And please notice here, I'm going to make the volume just a little bit more visible, right? I usually keep it a little dim because it's not always pertinent to what I'm doing in my trades, right? So please notice this very healthy growth, the 4-hour iterations here, absolute bullish power right here, you guys. So definitely know that if we are facing a continuation to the downside, there are a couple obvious targets to face. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and now reference to this Fibonacci ratio here. So if judging based on raw price action here, okay, so if we were to face back another pullback, right, in the immediate short-term time frame, Tuesday coming, because remember, President's Day is Monday, markets will be closed. Okay, we'll be continuing the sessions on Tuesday. All right, so right over here, we can see the NOT 618 right at 723. Okay, so that could be an area of a bounce, but more than likely, the more obvious area could be in respects to the lower end of this candle wick from today's last 4-hour iteration, which is located very much in correlation with that 0.5 at 0715. Okay, you guys, so that is a potential. We do have the 0.382 as that last area of saving grace, but please remember that this is the golden pocket and a very strong area for support. Also, do notice that the 50-day simple moving average, the 10-day simple moving average, and the 100 and the 200 SMA are all below us on the 4-hour chart, and very exciting because now we have an infinite amount of support below us. Okay, guys, not to mention the top of our triangle right over here. Okay, so if we do have to touch this triangle and we do somehow face ourselves with a target of about 0688 or just about 7 cents, it's entirely okay, because coming back to validate this as a form of support before a continuation onto the upside would only present more bullish action here, because the bulls would essentially take every opportunity to load right down here on CLNV, although I do not think that this is likely for us to come all the way back down here. The liquidity is actually present for the upside, pressuring the shorts out of their positions right now. Okay, you guys, so everything is looking very bullish for CLNV. Let's go ahead and reference the shorter term time frame so that we can see what could be happening. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the ARC composure indicator. Okay, so this is our trend validator and entry assistance algo. Okay, please go ahead and reach out to me if you are interested in acquiring these indicators. Okay, so what I want to mention here is something very important. On Thursday, February 16th, you can actually see the dates right down here, right? So on Thursday, February 16th, we got two very important signals, of which I had already seen, but I haven't shared with you because sometimes I worry about your discretion, right? So I want you to not always realize on these incredible algorithms that help us gain or understand market trend and possible entry zones, okay? Please notice that the blue triangle actually printed right at the opening of this, I'm sorry, at the closing of this candle, which was, let's see, we can see the closing, the low, the high, and the opening of the candles right up here. So let's just go ahead and hover over that candle. And at the closing of the candle, which was at 6880, this actually presented a blue triangle, which signifies that the trend, the sideways trend has come to an end, and there is an upside to be faced, and the validation for the upside, or what you can consider a long signal as in let's go, right, was actually printed at the opening of this candle right down here at about, let's see, 0640. Okay, you guys, we did get both of those validators, and the price action continued on to the upside for the next 2 days. Okay, so this was not this is not in correlation with the dividend news that we actually got today. This was actually based on algorithmic historical data. Okay, so this is absolutely bullish. We can absolutely see that the upside is still continuing. Of course, in the last minute, we did get that huge sell pressure, right, signaling a potential end to this. But please notice that every yellow diamond presented here are usually telling us that the continuation for the upside is a lot more probable than the downside. Just like right over here, we only have one red triangle versus three. Okay, you guys. So the indicator was actually telling us that we already had faced the end of this bear trend, actually, and this told us that this bear trend is over. So now let's go ahead and probably start accumulating. So accumulation, accumulation, accumulation. Let's go. All right, so this was very good for the composure indicator to let us know. You guys, please go ahead and now refer to the 12-hour chart with me here, where we're going to be talking about volatility versus momentum represented by the Crypstex ARC-Enhanced MACD. Okay, you guys, so this in essence is volatility represented by the Bollinger Bands in the red cloud, momentum represented by the moving average of the MACD itself. It also does feature bull and bear signals. Please notice that we just got a freshly printed 12-hour iteration bull signal right down here, alongside being critically contracted in volatility, while now the moving average is facing towards the upside. Guys, this is absolutely bullish for CLNV. I am not even gonna lie. I totally missed my entry today, by the way, so I'm not even sure that I'm gonna go in on this anymore, because it's just, I mean, it has massive upside to go, right? But I don't even know how this is gonna play out. But to tell you the truth, I may actually have to chase this one a little bit, because there is massive upside to be looked at. Why am I saying that? Well, I actually started taking into account the bull signal prints, like right over here, when volatility was right where we were right now, right in contraction. We were super tight right down here and printed that bull signal, and the first green dot, just like we have right here, the first green dot printed. I actually took iterations. I actually took note of a few iterations from where that happened, and I have noticed that we have made explosive moves to the upside. In this iteration here alone was a 161 move towards that upside, upon the signal being fired from critical contraction to critical expansion. Okay, so then we got that bear signal. We definitely capitulated, right? And then we recovered right over here with another bull signal and continued on to that upside. Very interesting stuff here, okay? In this iteration right over here on this upside, based on critical contraction to expansion, just like the way we are right now, we got a 235% read to the upside. In this iteration here, when we were at full contraction, we actually did face a downside before we actually continued on to the upside, and it did succeed a 100% move to the upside from the original signal printed, from which it actually tried to correct, and then a new signal was printed. But taking it from the original signal to the upside was a 100% move to the upside even still. So the algo is actually working out pretty nice with, I mean, in combination to how I typically look at volatility versus momentum in a very raw fashion. Okay, so this is essentially The enhanced MACD is essentially these two indicators paired into one so that we can gain that accessibility without having to load multiple indicators. Aside from that, it does have that very convenient bear and bull signals. Please go ahead and reach out to me and we'll go over the sub packages. Let's go ahead and now reference the fact that we have broken outside of our pennant. Please notice that the candle coming in did respect the targets that we were already looking for. We were talking about a very likely 77.3 target at the one spot 618, and then the upper targets, right? The less likely ones was 827 to 856, of which we got very close. Our discretion played out very nicely for the CLNV asset, of which is incredible that the data, that the statistics played out along with whatever the company ended up mentioning today. Incredible, incredible price action today, guys. Let's go ahead and now reference the last part of the analysis, and this is actually going to be the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Remember that your 14-day simple moving average is your pink line, and the RSI signal is your purple line. Immediate short-term time frame, 30-minute, is suggesting a downside continuation, but remember that this is likely to live out pretty fast, and also this suggestion is very much in correlation to what we're talking about right down here on the first chart we looked at on the chop box. We're looking at a potential reaccumulation period between the targets of about 723 to about 715. Worst case scenario, the triangle top at about 688. Remember, guys, okay? So that's what the 30-minute is suggesting. However, since it is a short-term time frame, it's likely to live out pretty fast. Okay, you guys. So let's go back and now reference the bi-hourly chart here, and it is suggesting a little bit of a pullback. But please notice that this is actually more. It's more horizontal than it is facing the downside. We're getting a hint from that 14-day simple moving average right below us, suggesting a continuation to the upside, and most importantly, the fact that the RSI is sitting very close to the gravitational zone of the grips of the bull strength percentile. Okay, so this is not looking good for short positions whatsoever. I would not, even if I was a financial advisor, which by the way I am not, I would definitely suggest for short positions to either exit, liquidate, or make sure to take advantage of the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame to take a very, very close look at this target here, 723 to about 715, to consider liquidating that position before more losses are incurred for the shorts. Okay, you guys, this is absolute volatility and momentum paired together towards that upside. Algos are telling us that the upside is imminent. RSI is already suggesting that in the bi-hourly short-term time frame, the bear strength is absolutely limited. Please go ahead and refer to the 8-hour, as the 8-hour has now entered the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile, which would in essence take us all the way up to that overbought percentile, of which historically speaking, we have plenty of room to go. Go ahead and notice that we're sitting at about 67, 67.62%. Historically speaking, we have touched 97.97%. Guys, that is massive upside to go, and this is absolutely threatening to short positions. Again, guys, I am short biased as well. I am not only long biased, I am ambidextrous like that in trading, and I can see an opportunity for a long position versus a short position, and this is absolutely not one for a short position in this current state. Okay, you guys, please reference the 5-day iteration now making an important and very crucial cross of the 14-day simple moving average. Okay, this RSI signal has now entered the grips of the bull strength percentile and suggesting a continuation to the way up even still. Okay, you guys, so what I am looking for CLNV, as a reminder, is going to be a short-term pullback to that area that we were looking for in the chop box. Remember, 723 to about 715. Worst case scenario, and very unlikely scenario, could be at that 688 before a massive bounce to the upside, because sentiment and psychology are already in play for this asset, and we have closed green in the day no matter which way you look at it. This is an absolute beat, and this will absolutely have the longs thinking in anticipation of a long weekend. Guys, this is definitely screaming upside, and the upside is definitely imminent on this one. happen, okay, you guys? Please go ahead and know that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever, okay, you guys? I need you to do your own DD, your own due diligence, and everything will be just fine. Please go ahead and refer to the links in the description below and or my Twitter handle here to reach out to me regarding the Crypstex subscription packages. Will get you situated and will get you on these strategy algos so that we can start making some important moves that I tend to consider personally in my trading day in and day out. Okay, you guys? So please know that I wish you a very, very good long weekend and a good President's Day, by the way, right? And I will catch you at the bell on Tuesday. Adios.